This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876 309 6128. That's 876 309 6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876 586 0471. That's 876 586 0471. This video is brought to you by Starboy's Juices. Infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing and nutritious. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Simon Preston and welcome to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the channel where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football, your hub for everything Jamaican football related. The men's, the women's, the youth, the beach, the futsal teams, everything in relation to Jamaican football. We have it right here on this platform. So folks, let's get right into the matter, shall we? And let us discuss about the encounter that we had quite recently in relation to the Reggae Girls and their trip down under. So this was something that was very, you could say, a compelling experience. And why is that in particular? Because Jamaica took on two of the top 10 ranked teams in the world. And I'll get a little bit deeper into that specifically. Of course, the Czech Republic as well. So 3 games. And I know many persons' first impressions will be looking solely on the results. But the reality of the situation is that this is a build-up towards the World Cup itself. Friendly matches for me, it's all about performances. Result is not the number one priority. Of course, if the win comes, you take it because winning breeds confidence, momentum, swagger, and that sort of momentum that carries on with it. So yes, the results didn't come, but you have to say that there were encouraging signs. The Spain game, we know that the team arrived in Spain roughly hours, between 12 and 18 to 24 hours before kickoff. And you could say, for some of them, a bit lethargic, but still a wonderful experience to come up against Spain, a team that went to the quarterfinals of the Euros, and for me, a team that can actually go to the quarterfinals of the World Cup itself. You saw the way how Spain handled USA in the 2019 World Cup, extremely stingy against the Americans, and perhaps unfortunate to go home on the round of 16 stage. Let's go to the second game now against the Czech Republic. The second half, the first 15 to 20 minutes of the second half was champagne football from the Reggae Girls. You saw the combinations of play from Cameron Simmons, the likes of Soleil Washington as well, how they're able to link up. It was fluid, it was fast, it was vibrant, it was one touch. It kept the Czech team on their toes, and this gave them problems, huge problems. And Cameron Simmons got the all-important equalizer. A bit challenging, a bit unfortunate that late on, this situation was not able to the team wasn't able to hold on for the draw, but still a valuable experience and a learning one moving forward for the team. And the last game, now in the FIFA rankings, it might not reflect this way in terms of the FIFA Women's World Rankings, but for me in particular, and I'll be frank with this, Jamaica took on Australia, and Australia in the FIFA rankings right now are 12th in the world. But if you ask me, right now, they're the second best team in the world. England is the best team in the world in women's football. Australia is the second best team in the women's football. And the United States is the third best team in women's football. That's my honest opinion. So we saw some adjustments, didn't we? We certainly did. And how did all of that transpire? Well, I'll show you exactly what I was referring to from that sort of angle of everything and show you exactly what the lineup looked like for this encounter in particular. So Feast your eyes on the screen right now and you'll be able to see exactly what I was referring to. So as you can see right there, this is basically how the team lined up. But it was so clever, especially from Vian Sampson, because while defending wise, Vian Sampson occupied this pocket of space between the Swaby sisters, so it gave the impression that Jamaica had a back three. So centrally, Jamaica was a team quite difficult to press. The Australians, the first goal that they scored, they had to shoot from out here, and one of the goals as well, they had to go in the wider areas as well, because of course Jamaica was narrow. So the Australians knew that centrally it was going to be difficult to break down the Jamaicans. You see the lineup that took place here, and I made mention a point about Vian Sampson coming here whenever Jamaica is defending, but operate in these areas. And you see a face right here at right back, Tiffany Cameron. And you say, why is a forward playing in that position? Now, is this the first time that we're seeing Tiffany Cameron play in this position for Jamaica? Well, remember at the National Stadium against Paraguay, she did occupy a deeper position in that 2-1 loss against Paraguay. I think she got 10, 15 minutes in that game. No, actually, she got less than that, to be quite frank with you. But the fact and the point is that this is not the first time for Jamaica she has been in this sort of deep position. So how did she perform against the Australian outfit? Well, it was quite clear. She kept Sam Kerr, Ford, and Crummer at bay. And there was even a decisive interception that was made and clearance made in the 44th minute of the first half. So it was extremely, extremely, extremely challenging for the Australians going down this right-hand side. Really, really challenging. And Tiffany ensured that Jamaica on this side, the right-hand side, was fluent. You could perhaps say, all right, attacking-wise, there wasn't a lot. In the same breath, the possession in the second half, Jamaica didn't have the bulk of it. And you could definitely see in terms of the stats, 37% possession in the entire game. The first half, in terms of possession, was much more efficient than what was the second half in this game in particular. So let's answer the question, shall we? Is Tiffany Cameron Jamaica's new right back? It's not a straightforward yes or no answer. That's the truth and about the matter. Why do I say this? All right. First thing first. Do you guys have your pen and paper? Get your pen and paper. And I want you to write down the names with me. You guys ready? You guys ready? All right, let's go. Bunny Shaw, that's 1. Jody Brown, that's 2. Tiffany Cameron, yep, that's 3. Chena Matthews, that's 4. Kayla McKenna, that's 5. Shade Amalekan, that's 6. Kiki Van Zanten, that's 7. Cameron Simmons, that's 8. Soleil Washington, that's 9. Folks, that's 9 players right there. That's 9 players right there. 9 players right there. And these are all attacking positions. The depth is just simply amazing. So what's the point that I'm trying to make here? Well, it's time to pull out the board, shall we? Let's do it. Okay, folks. So more or less, what Jamaica has done quite effectively is utilize this 4-3-3 formation. And Jamaica has been quite effective with this. For me, this is what I would say the best, you could say, 11 looks like. And I'll get into, changes, what could happen as time progresses leading towards the World Cup itself. So something for us to richly consider, right? Yeah, and Chantal Swaby, Alison Swaby. You could have via left back, right back here of Tierney Wiltshire. Now, this is where things could get really compelling. Let's say that you have Drew Spence. Say you have Judy Carter. You have Buckeye, Peyton McNamara. Okay, so this is a team, and mostly Tiffany Cameron has played on the right-hand side for Jamaica. She has the ability to play as a number 9 on the right side of her front 3. Now, you would have seen interviews that she's given as well, where she can operate in this position as well. I don't expect it in a Jamaica shirt, but she can operate behind the striker. She has that creative element to her if she has to play a final ball. But if we're going to utilize Tiffany to the best, her strengths, it's in one of three positions. It's as a number 9, the right side of a front 3, or right back. So, is Tiffany Cameron Jamaica's newest right back? The answer to that question is quite simply, it depends on the game. Now, I'm the firm believer that depending on the opposition that you have to penetrate their weaknesses. And depending on what they have, you have to know how to cope or how to neutralize what they have to bring to the table as well. So to say that Tiffany Cameron is going to be a right-sided attacker every single game, that wouldn't be a fair assessment to make at all. It wouldn't be at all to make, because you will have situations where there will be a bit of isolation, sometimes where she will be, where space might not be something that you might have the luxury in certain games. And that is the nature of how football is. Now, when is the appropriate times? When is it appropriate to utilize her as a right back? Well, here's something that we can consider. This is something that we can look at as well. Jody Brown, Bonnie Shaw, Cameron Simmons in that front 3, and Tiffany Cameron as a right back. When is the appropriate time to use Tiffany Cameron? So, against the best teams in the world, the Australias, the Frances, France was number 5 in the world. Tiffany Cameron can do an exceptional job at right back. Bring on Marie-Antoinette Katoto, because Tiffany will ensure that she's not cutting inside or not going to be able to pull the trigger at all. For somebody that is playing her first start as right back for her country, she did an exceptional job against the Australians. An absolutely amazing job. This was against one of the best teams in the world, against one of the best attacking lineups in the world, on their home soil, in conditions where they are used to. And this is a Jamaican team that have been on Australian soil for 6.5 days, going 7 days. And she was one of the best players on the field. She also acceptably and deservedly received the commendation from her peers for the performance that she gave in that sort of position. And absolutely, it was clear operating in this position what she was capable of doing and what she was able to do. Does it mean that she's always should be a right back for Jamaica? No. But when you're picking a squad, especially at 23, you're going to need versatility, because in a World Cup, anything can happen. You will have injuries. You will have suspensions. You will have situations where all subs are finished and you have to be proactive with your time, your energy, and your resources. The Jamaicans face France in the opening game. France is number 5 in the world. And then, after that, it's a game against Panama. Panama are 57th in the world. And then to end the group stages, it's a game against Brazil, a team that Jamaica definitely can beat. Definitely can beat. Now, Sully Washington, Cameron Simmons, all held up their hand in this camp. They certainly made life a lot harder for Coach Lauren Donaldson when it comes to penning down and trimming the 23. I can imagine that he's having sleepless nights about it. And it's going to be a very, very long 3-4 months for him until it's time to narrow down that 23. I know in his mind he's wishing that FIFA had said, let's work with the 26. And I know he's probably thinking, okay, in terms of the reserve players that are not in the 23, could they travel to Australia and just be a part of the group? You know, I'm sure he'll have those conversations as well and those thoughts within his mind. But specifically to Tiffany Cameron and what she's capable of doing and what she offers to Jamaica. I mean, I've said this so many times regarding 11 goals and 9 assists in 12 appearances. 3 of her last 5 starts for Jamaica, she scored. St. Kitts and Nevis, 2020. You're following me, right? Well, I hope you are. 2022 against Grenada, 2022 against the DR. The 2 games that she didn't score against where she started was against the ranked number 1 team in the world, the United States, and against Australia, who in my eyes, the second best team in the world, even though currently they're ranked 12th in the world. And this was their home soil. They have one of the best attacking lineups in the world. And she started her stuff and held her own quite well. It certainly gives options when you're bearing in mind the grand scheme of things. Tierney Wiltshire, Tiffany Cameron on the right. On the left, you have some decisions to make. If Denisha Blackwood's performances doesn't improve, could Tierney Wiltshire go to left back and Tiffany at right back? Or could it be a situation where V goes at left back and right back you have Tierney or Tiffany? Those are some options that you have to work with. But one thing for sure, this 23 is going to be the hardest decision ever. Ever. And I say that with all the respect in the world because of the depth of quality. And who knows? The CONCACAF Women's Under-20 Championship qualifiers is in April. Who knows if Soleil Washington, if Mia Mitchell hold up their hand with some big performances as well. We're at the end of February, but it's still a mighty, mighty long road to go. But for this question itself, is Tiffany Cameron Jamaica's newest right back? The answer to that question is she should continue to be versatile, continue to be adaptable, continue to learn as she goes along, and everything else will fall into place. Folks, what are your thoughts? I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of clarity. Mr. Galaxy says, I would prefer Wiltshire, but it could be a whole good option for a tactical switch. That is the option, yeah. What about Sieba and Wilson at left back? That is an option. My concern is our fitness, but we shall see how all of that unfolds, right? So everything in time, we'll see how everything falls into place, but it is something worth considering. And I want you to think about it because if a player can operate that well, a player that had no training in this position in terms of a full 90 minutes at that position, and she gets an opportunity against the second best team in the world, and she puts in a performance like that, just imagine how she would do with more matches in that position in particular. Something to think about. Let's see how all of this transpires. But exciting times ahead. Our reggae girls are scoring goals. Bunny Shaw, Drew Spence, her team got knocked out in the cup, but she did find the back of the net. I know Shania Hales is going to keep on scoring goals as well. Tiffany will continue scoring goals, quarterfinals of the cup competition as well. Is it worth sacrificing her attacking output though? For me, as I said, I don't look at it as a sacrifice. I look at it as a game-by-game situation. Against France, yes, I would have her as a right back. Against Brazil and Panama, no, I would have her as the right side of our front three or as a 9. For me, those are the areas that I would have her in particular. The game against France, that's where I would have her as a right back. Bearing in mind what the Brazilians and the Panamanians have, I just think with the French and how they set up, Tiffany would be able to neutralize that. She would be able to also overlap and also underlap. because the French will give you some space to work with. Because of the high line that they use, there will be space to operate. So I will look forward to this test. It's going to be a good one. It really, really is. Tiffany making the team as a utility player is a good idea, says Everton Jackson. We definitely need them. We definitely need them. Yeah, game by game is fair. We have to look at it from that angle. We have to look at it from that angle. That's exactly what we need to consider, you know? So yes, folks, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's hear what you guys have to say. All right. Right back, right side of our front three. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's hear what you guys have to say. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is brought to you by Starboys Juices. Infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing and nutritious. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454.